Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. Of course, you probably heard the news in the last couple of days if you're a big horror news follower, fan, whatever. This is a piece of information that kind of surprised me. Number one, in case you didn't know, they're finally making another 28 Days Later film. It's not called 28 Months Later. You had the days, you had the weeks. We all thought we would get 28 months later. We're not. We're actually getting a new one. It says June 20th of 2025 is when this is expected and projected to be, I guess, from Danny Boyle, once again. This is coming out next year, which is weird. But this one's called 28 Years Later, which we're actually closer to 28 years later than we are to 28 months later back once upon a time. Maybe you could start the film off doing that first, I don't know. Kind of throws out continuity, and I'm surprised this series didn't continue to release. I don't know if 28 Weeks Later did poorly or not. Personally, I've never been a fan of either of these first two films. I will review them at some point, but I've never been a dedicated fan of these. I don't know why, just haven't. Just never been into it. I've seen, I think the first one a couple of times. I've seen part two maybe once, maybe twice, somewhere in there. And it just didn't appeal to me. I thought the rage virus was kind of a cool idea. It's not really straight out zombie horror, but it's something similar to that, and I like it. It's still apocalyptic, and that's still fun to watch. It has an element of more worrying about these people who are just sick versus being actually physically dead and coming back to life. You could save these people. They're your family sometimes. You could try to save them if there's an effort to get some kind of solution to that. If I had to bet, this will probably end up being a two-parter. I doubt it at first, kind of, but I kind of wonder, because why would you resurrect this of all things? I feel like there will be some kind of solution and something like that in here. But I have a feeling it'll be a two-part film. Not a trilogy, but maybe just two films kind of over the next couple of years. But this is the thing. This is the big piece of news. Cillian Murphy, who played Scarecrow when I was a kid watching the Christopher Nolan Batman films, he recently, I think he even won an Oscar for his performance in Oppenheimer, playing Oppenheimer himself. And he was great there. That was the best performance I have seen in movies in ages. He was excellent there, though. And I don't even like that movie that much. It's boring as shit. But he was excellent there. That was the best Cillian performance probably in his entire career. And I haven't even seen Peaky Blinders yet, so that should tell you a lot. He has announced he's coming back to make this movie 28 years later. Not to make it, but to be in it. And how wild is that? That is something that I don't think anybody expected him to announce after the Oppenheimer Nolan success. He's been working with Nolan for ages. I think a lot of people like myself would have thought that Red Eye would be the last time you'd see him do something like that. Kind of a straight-out genre horror film. It's kind of surprising, the idea that Cillian Murphy is coming back to do another 28 Days film, which I think he was just in the first one, if I remember correctly. And people love him. He's a fan favorite for those fans of those movies, from what I understand, so it's kind of neat. I kind of am excited to see this just because he's coming back and he's going to be in it. Who doesn't like Cillian Murphy? He's excellent. But that alone has me more excited for this new movie. Next year, obviously. I'm assuming it will come out in 2025. But hopefully it's good, man. I'm very curious what's going to happen here. And like I said, in the meantime, God willing, I plan on reviewing part 1 and part 2 at some point. We'll see what happens there. But what do you think about this news? Are you excited to see Cillian Murphy coming back? Are you excited to see Danny Boyle coming back to write, or co-write at least, from what it looks like, and also direct? Are you excited for all of this? I'm a little surprised. This had been rumored forever, like since part 2 had come out. I remembered hearing about when I actually got on the internet for the first time in my life about a 28 months later, now 28 days later 3, in this case 28 years later, as the actual official title seems to be. How wild is that? We also have Ralph Fiennes is going to be in this too, Voldemort himself, so I'm excited about that too, because I don't think he's done horror aside from that and Red Dragon. He's excellent if you haven't seen his stuff. Is The Menu a horror film? I haven't seen that. I've heard that, but I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll watch it sometime this year. Anyway, what do you think about the news? Are you excited about this? Are you a big 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later fan? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'd love to hear all that down below too. And if you're not a fan, does this pique your interest? Let me know that too, because I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen here. We haven't had a whole lot of zombie stuff in recent years since Walking Dead, shambled along into obscurity. And there are people out there pretending they still watch it on the internet. But zombie movies and stuff kind of died off entirely since Walking Dead has been a mess now. So this is something interesting, Hopefully it's good. We'll see. But anyway, what do you think? Let me know down below. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.